Hello, my name is Savannah Kelly. Today I brought you to beautiful downtown Hot Springs, Arkansas. For my art project, I'm going to take you on a tour of the historic bathhouse row you see behind me. The oldest surviving bathhouse, the Hale, was constructed in 1892 and lasted through 1893. It was the first bathhouse with any modern conveniences. It was changed significantly a decade later, with drawbacks being the inclusion of wood and the exclusion of flood protection. The Hale came to have an abundance of arched windows, iron grills, and an elevation above the oak doors in the entryway. Builders wanted the Hale to be distinctive, and did so by carving its name in stone between dogwood blossoms. Its greatest distinction was actually a very large red tile hip roof magnified by a wide overhang with exposed beams. The designers, George Mann and Eugene Stern of Little Rock, saw over the extensive renovations that were made in 1919, but like most of the other bathhouses, the Hale closed in 1978. On the north side of the formal entrance, we find the Maurice. The Maurice was built in 1911 through 1912 and designed by George Gleim Jr. of Chicago, Illinois. It was also renovated by Mann and Stern in 1915. In 1931, a therapeutic pool was added in order to treat various forms of paralysis. The addition was inspired by treatments President Franklin D. Roosevelt received in Warm Springs, Georgia. On the third floor, we find the dark-paneled Roycroft Inn, also known as the Dutch Den, named after Elbert Hubbard's New York press that promoted the arts and crafts movement in the United States. The building was designed in both the Renaissance Revival and Mediterranean style, common of many Californian architects such as Julian Morgan. You find stucco on the exterior of the brick and concrete load-bearing walls, which are inset with decorative colored tiles. The front elevation of the building is symmetrical, with a 5-bay enclosed sun porch set back between the north and south end wings. Other than the symmetry, the hierarchy of fenestration common in Renaissance Revival-style buildings is also present. The pilasters in the lobby are of a fluted Ionic style. Visitors enjoy mythical sea scenes in the stained glass skylights and windows present in both the men's and women's portions. The Buckstaff was completed in 1912 and is the only bathhouse on the road that you can still actually bathe in. The Buckstaff portrays a Roman temple image with a story-and-a-half Doric colonnade topped by a wide flat pediment, all in white against the tan brick building. Arched lower floor windows are ideally suited for striped awnings. Earned finials on the upper front complement the 4 planters on the open porch. The Buckstaff is a huge attraction for tourists. It allows them to travel back in time to the days of the Flappers and Al Capone. The Fordyce was designed by George Mann and Eugene Stern as well. Building started in 1914 and ended the next year. It's located on the south side of the formal entrance and had a reputation as the most complete and luxurious bathhouse, and as an impressive monument to the recovery of the owner, Colonel Samuel Fordyce, who believed the waters restored his health. It, along with the Maurice, attracted the wealthier clients. A unique feature to this building is the Fordyce Spring, a glazed tile room with a plate glass window covering the natural hot spring. In style, the building is primarily a Renaissance Revival structure with both Spanish and Italian elements. The building is a 3-story brick construction with a decorative, cream-colored brick facing with terracotta detailing. On the upper 2 stories, the brickwork is patterned in a lozenge design. The first floor exterior of the front elevation to the west is finished with rusticated terracotta. The remainder of the first floor is finished with glazed brick. A marquee of stained glass and copper with a parapet of Greek design motifs overhangs the open entrance porch. The north and south end walls have curvilinear parapets of Spanish extraction. These side walls have highly decorated terracotta windows on the first floor. On the front elevation, the fenestration defines the 7 bays of the structure and provides the architectural hierarchy typical of Renaissance Revival-style buildings. The northernmost bathhouse, the Red Brick Superior, was designed by Hot Springs native architect Harvey C. Schwebke. It was completed in 1916. The owners relied on a reputation for outstanding service rather than unusual architecture, so it's not as masterfully designed as the others. In 1923, it was damaged by a flood, though not extensively. The building has a simple commercial style of classic Revival origin. The 3 bays are separated by brick pilasters with patterned insets and are decorated with concrete painted in imitation of ornamental tile. Green tile medallions called paterais are centered over the pilasters in the friezes below the first and second story cornices. Bath stalls are marble walled with tile floors and solid porcelain tubs. Stairs are marble and tile. Most of the interior hardware is brass. Walls vary from painted plaster to marble to tile. The Superior closed in 1983. The Quapaw acquired its name from the discovery of Indian artifacts during the excavation of the basement. Complete in 1922, it was a moderately priced bathhouse with none of the extras that others featured, such as beauty parlors. The Quapaw is a Spanish colonial revival style building of masonry and reinforced concrete with a stucco finish. The most impressive exterior feature is the large central dome covered with brilliantly colored tiles and capped with a small copper cupola. The dome's mosaic is chevron pattern with a band of rectangular and diamond patterns encircling its base. The dome rests on an octagonal base. Directly above the entrance is a cartouche with a carved Indian head set into decorative double-carved parapet. The Indian motif, found in several other places in the bathhouse, was used to reinforce the promotional legend of the Quapaw Baths, which claimed that the Indians had discovered the magical healing powers of the cave and spring now housed in the building's basement. The double curved parapets at the north and south end of the building are capped with scalloped shells that frame spiny sculpin fish. The shell and the fish both emphasize the aquatic aspect of the building. The scalloped shell is a common architectural element found in Spanish colonial and revival buildings. Originally, the symbol was used to represent Santiago de Compostela, patron saint of Spain, but it evolved into a mere decorative element in secular revival buildings such as this. The Quapaw closed as a bathhouse in 1984, but reopened in 2008. Also designed by Mann & Stern, the Ozark was completed in 1922. Sculpins, a type of fish, project from the seashell cartouches on companion pediments on the end base. The front of the stucco building has archways and arched windows extending around the sides, and the sun porches have arched doors to interior spaces with rows of double arches in the ceiling. Vaulted stained glass extends the length of the bathhouse. The enormous dome tower is the highest on Bathhouse Row and is topped with a copper cupola. The tiles zigzag around the top of the dome, and flying course of Neptune heads alternate in a golden tile band at the base. The Ozark closed in 1977. The Lamar was finished in 1923. It's special because of the murals in the north, south, and east walls of the lobby that feature architectural and country scenes. The transitional style often used in clean-lined commercial buildings at the time that were still not totally devoid of elements left over from various classical revivals included symmetry, cornices, and vague pediments articulating the front entrance. This building is a reinforced concrete structure finished with stucco on the exterior. The Lamar ceased operations in November of 1985.
This brings us to the end of our tour. The reason that I chose Bathhouse Row for my project is because ever since I took my first walk downtown, I've been enchanted with the rich history and beautiful architecture of each of the bathhouses. The bathhouses are such a huge staple to this beautiful city and always the first thing I think about when I think of home.